Hello, boys and girls. We are getting ready for lesson 20 in math today. And just a heads up, so we have lesson 20 and lesson 21, and that is the last lesson in module 1. So we have done a super job. We worked very hard in our first math module in 3rd grade, and I could not be more proud of all the hard math work that we are doing. Okay, so for today's lesson, for lesson 20, we are solving two-step word problems involving multiplication and division and assessing the reasonableness of the answer. Okay, so the big thing today that we're doing that's different is we are solving two-step word problems. Two-step word problems. Do we remember I think we did one problem so far that was a two-step word problem. And my hint to you was that if there was 3 numbers in the word problem, that it was probably going to be a two-step word problem. So that's what we're going to look for today. Okay. And our I can statement is I can solve two-step word problems using multiplication and division. So that just means that we have to be extra good word detectives today, math detectives, to decide if we are going to be multiplying or dividing. We're going to hop right into our problem set today so we can really put a lot of effort and energy into our word problems today. So make sure you have your name and date on there. So it's lesson 20 problem set, our pink problem set for today, lesson 20. So grab it if you don't have it, and then come back when you're ready. Okay, I would like you to read number 1 with me. So if you can put your pencil or your finger on number 1 on Ted and read it with me. Okay, here we go. Ted buys 3 books and a magazine at the bookstore. Each book costs $8. A magazine costs $4. I already see a clue word, but let's start at the beginning of the word problem. Okay, so he buys 3 books and a magazine. Is that important for us to know? And actually, is this RDWW? It sure is. So let's write that up there, or wherever you can squeeze it in. RDWW. Anytime we have a word problem, it's going to be RDWW. Okay, so now for our read, he buys 3 books and a magazine. I think that's important, don't you? Okay, so 3 books and a magazine at the bookstore. Each book costs $8. Do you see a clue word? Me too. What is it? It's each. Good. Highlight that word each. And each tells us that we're going to multiply or divide, right? So we need to decide if we know the total, we're going to divide. If we're trying to find the total, then we multiply. But are we done? Is that it? No, then it says a magazine costs $4. So let's look here at my numbers. I have 3 books and a magazine, and I actually want to use a different color highlighter for this just to show, and you don't have to. If you have 2 highlighters, you can use it. I just want to highlight my numbers in a different color just to separate the numbers from our clue words, so those clue words will still stand out. But I see the number 3, I see the number 8, and I see the number 4. Unless it's asking us to add all those numbers together, it's going to be a two-step word problem. Okay, 3 books and a magazine. Each book costs $8. A magazine costs $4. So they did a little bit of work here for us. So we did our read. We can check that off. Next is our draw. Okay, so if we look at the picture that they did for us, they put the magazine, okay, and the magazine costs $4. So that's there. I'm going to check that off. Okay, 3 books, 1, 2, 3. They already have the 3 books there for us, and a magazine, so they drew that for us. So I can check those off because I've used those too. And each book cost $8. So what's going to go in each one of these? 8, right? So I can put 8 circles. I could also just put the number 8 in there because each book costs $8. Okay, and then we're trying to find the total of that. But first of all, it says, what is the total cost of the books? Well, there's 3 books, and they each cost $8. And they each cost $8. What clue word are we hearing? Each. So would we multiply or divide if we're trying to find the total? We would multiply, right? So can you think of a number sentence that we would use to find the total of these? We could do 8 plus 8 plus 8, but we are sophisticated 3rd grade mathematicians, So I want to write a multiplication sentence. So there's 3 groups times, since we're trying to find the total, 8 equals. Let's do our 3 song. 8 times. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24. Stop. Okay? We did 8 times and we got 24. And it's the total cost of the books, so it would be $24. Okay? So right in here, this is scooping just those 3 books, so it would be $24. But are we done? Nope, because now we have the cost of the books, and we know that the magazine costs $4, and we want to find the total cost of the books and the magazines. And can I multiply these? I can't, right? Because they're not equal groups. So I would add. So I'm going to take that $24 plus the $4 of the magazine. And what do we get there? You can do vertical if that is easier for you. You can do 24 plus 4. You can use mental math. 4 plus 4 is 8 and 2. And it's money, so it would be $28, right? And that's going to come right up here. $28. What do we think? Okay. It was more, but is it that if we just take it kind of step by step, it's pretty okay. So we need to check off the rest. We did our draw. We wrote a couple number sentences. And did we do our last W? No. So our last W stands for write a word sentence. So we look at the question is how much does Ted spend altogether? So Ted spends $28. And remember, we're writing a complete sentence, and we know that a complete sentence begins with a capital letter and a period at the end. Okay? And then I can check off that last W. And doing that, RDW, boys and girls, it really helps to focus our attention, and it helps us to make sure that we're solving the actual problem, because sometimes we might find a different answer, or maybe we get $24, but then if we think, is that how much he spends altogether? When we go back and answer the question, that's just how much he spent on the books. So that really helps us to focus our attention and to make sure that we're answering the actual question, that last W. Okay, are we ready for number 2? Put your finger or your pencil on number 2 and read it with me. Okay, here we go. 7 children share 28 silly bands equally. Do we see some stuff in there? And we can label this one RDWW2, right? Because it's a word problem. Okay, 7 children. Is that important for us? I think so. And again, it's not a number, it's a word, but it is a number, right? But we just don't see the number, so sometimes kids don't think that that counts, but it does. So even if you want to write the 7 right underneath it. They're sharing 28 silly bands equally. That's important. And if they're sharing 28 silly bands, that makes me think 28. 28 sounds to me like the total. Do you agree? Good. I'm going to circle 28 because it's the total. Do we see some clue words in there? Well, they're sharing, and they're sharing equally. So that's telling me that we're going to have equal groups. Okay. And if I look down here, it says how many silly bands does each child get? That's a clue word. Okay. And then our final question is how many silly bands do 3 children get? All right. So we have, if we look at our numbers again to decide if this is a 2-step word problem or a multi-step word problem, we have 7, we have 28, and we have 3. Is this going to be a 2-step word problem? Probably. Okay, so let's take a look. They did some work there for us, and also we can check off our read, right? Okay, so they already have this tape diagram for us, and they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that represents the 7 children. So those are accounted for. They already scooped the whole thing and put 28. So the 28 is accounted for. And we want to know how many silly bands do 3 children get. But first of all, before we even look at that down there, if we have 7 kids and they each get 28, we need to figure out, or not, sorry, they don't each get 28. If we have 7 kids and the total is 28, we want to find out how many silly bands each child gets. So the strategy that I think I'm going to use is I think I'm going to put one in each group until I count up to 28. Does that sound good to you? Will you do it with me? Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Go back to the beginning. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Back to the beginning. 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. So we got to 28, so we stop. And then how many are in each group? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 in each group, right? So we can put that 4 right there. All right, so the first question says, how many silly bands does each child get? Well, to find that, we took 28, which was our total. We divided by 7, because there were 7 groups. So we took that 28 and we divided it. We put 1 in each group. And then we found that each child gets 4 silly bands, right? So that's how we got that 4. But then it says, how many silly bands do 3 children get? Well, here's our 3. 1, 2, 3. They already scooped us. I'm going to put that line there to kind of separate. So here's 3 children, and they each get 4. What kind of a number sentence would I write there? Would we multiply or divide there to find that total? So we don't know the total, so that means that we're going to multiply. So there's 3 groups times 4 in each group, and that equals 12, right? So we did the draw. We did the writing of the number sentences. Are we done? The last one is to write a word sentence. So our question says, how many silly bands do 3 children get? So 3, and I'm going to write a word for that first one since it's the beginning of our sentence. 3 children get 12 silly bands. And should spelling be correct, boys and girls? It should, right? Because it's right there. I'm just taking the words that are right in the sentence. I'm just kind of rephrasing that sentence to get my sentence for my answer. And then I can check out that last W. Oh, I forgot to put the 12 right in here too. Did you? Did you remember? Okay, so when you're all set, go ahead and turn over. If you need to pause to get caught up, you can do that and then come back to me. Okay. All right. Number 3 says 18 cups are equally packed in 6 boxes. 2 boxes of cups break. How many cups are unbroken? So let's take a look. Is this RDWW? Sure is. RDWW. Okay. And then we've got 18 cups are equally packed into 6 boxes. So I'm looking at that part. 18 cups are equally packed into 6 boxes. I think 18 is the total there. Do you agree? Because I'm taking those 18 cups and I'm packing them into 6 boxes. So yeah, that's my total. And again, it's not a number. So if it helps to, well, it's not written in number form, it's written in word form. So if it helps you to write the actual number underneath it to see it as the number easier, that's okay. And they're equally packed into 6 boxes. And I see a clue word in there. Do you? Equally. Good. Oh, then look at this next part. 2 boxes of cups break. Is that important? I think so too. So 2 boxes of cups break. If they break, because remember, we want to know at the end how many cups are unbroken. So if we find out how many cups there are, first of all, and then 2 boxes of cups break, what does that mean? Are we getting more or are some going away? Some are going away. So if they are breaking, I want to keep that in mind that they're going away, right? Okay. And then our question is, how many cups are unbroken? Okay, so we did our read. So next would be our draw. I'm going to draw a tape diagram because I think that they are a magnificent tool. All right. And I know I said that my total was 18. So what would I do to my tape diagram here? I'm going to scoop it and put 18. So if we know the total, do you think that we would be multiplying or dividing? sounds like we would divide, right, if we already know our total. So I'm going to scoop it, and I'm going to put 18. And they're equally packed into 6 boxes. So if I have 6 boxes, is that the number of groups or the number in each group? That would be the number of groups, right? If they're boxes, that would be the groups. So if I want 6 groups, how many lines do I draw here? 5. Good job. Try to space them out equally. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then check your boxes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And remember, if you don't have enough room, you can add on to it. Or if you made your rectangle too big, then you can just erase some, right? All right, so there's my 6 boxes. Before I even get to this part, I want to stop right there and deal with this, because do I know how many cups are in each group yet? I do not know how many cups are in each group yet, right? So I'm going to put 1 in each group until I get to 18. Do we agree with that? Okay, will you count with me? Do it with me. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Stop, because I hit my 18. How many are in each group? There's 3 in each group, right? Okay, but now we're not done, right? Because then it says, so let's see, we used our 18, we used that, and we found out that there was 3 in each box. Then it says 2 boxes of cups break. So 2 boxes break. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually cross out 2 boxes of cups, because 2 boxes break. And we want to know how many cups are unbroken. So that gives us this amount left. Okay, so we did our draw. Now for the right. Now we said because we know the total that we would divide. We could divide for this part. We could write a number sentence and say 18 divided by 6 equals 3. We could do that, right? Because that would tell us that there's 3 in each box. That would be for the first part. 18 divided by 6. That's what we did, right? We took the total of 18. We divided them into 6 boxes and we got 3. But for this part, at the end, how many cups are unbroken, we want to find the total of these 4 boxes. So there's 4 boxes and there's 3 in each one. Okay, so there's 4 boxes times 3 in each one equals, and we could also do 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3. If you want to write a repeated addition sentence, that wouldn't be wrong unless it asks you to write a multiplication sentence, right? But it doesn't. But anyway, so for 4 times 3, I'm going to count by 3s 4 times. Will you count with me? 3, 6, 9, 12. So my answer is 12. All right, so how many cups are unbroken? That's what we just did. We did 2 boxes of cups break. How many cups are unbroken? It would be 12. So we wrote our number sentences. And the last W is to write a word sentence. So to write my word sentence, I go to my question, how many cups are unbroken? So there, with a capital T, are 12 cups unbroken. Squeak, squeak, squeak is what my pen's doing. There are 12 cups unbroken. Good. All right. For time's sake today, because there's a lot involved in these, right? We're going to cross off number 4. If you want to do number 4 just for fun or for practice, you're certainly welcome to. Okay. And then the last one that we're going to do today is number 5. And if you want to try number 5 on your own and then come back after, you can definitely do that, right? If you want to do it and then come back and solve it or check it with me, you're welcome to do that for any of these, okay? All right, so if you're with me, let's read number 5 together. So put your finger, your pencil on 27. Here we go. 27 pears are packed in bags of 3. 5 bags of pears are sold. How many bags of pears are left? Okay, is this RDWW? It sure is. RDWW. Okay, 27. I'm just going to write that 27 under it because it helps me to see it better. 27 pears are packed in bags of 3. What do we think about that 27? I know what I'm thinking about the 27. What are you thinking about it? Do you think it's a total? Me too. I'm going to circle it. Okay, so 27 pairs are packed into bags of 3. Is bags of 3 important too? Bags of 3 means that there is 3 in each bag, right? Good. And then 5 bags of pears are sold. Is that important? And if they're sold, that means that they're going away. So if we think back up to our problem up here where some of the cups broke, we cross them off, right? If they're sold, they're also going to go away. So that's also making me think that maybe I'm going to cross off some. All right. And then my question says, how many bags of pears are left? That's a clue word that we haven't looked at yet this year, but left is a clue word that tells us that some are going away and probably that we're going to subtract. Okay. And that's kind of goes along with what we said, right? Because we said sold, we would probably be crossing some off. And that means that they're going away, we're taking away, right? Okay. So I think we did a really good job with our read. So next is our draw. Okay. I'm going to do a tape diagram. Okay. So we said 27 was the total. So let's scoop it and put 27. And then so I use my 27. And there's bags of 3. And also I need to highlight my numbers here. I had 27. I had 3. And I had 5. There's another number that's in word form. So 3 numbers, so it's probably going to be a 2-step problem at least, right? Okay, so 27 bags of 3. So that means that there's going to be 3 bags, 3 groups, or 3 in each group. Bags of 3. 3 in each group. So I'm going to make groups of 3 until I get to 27. Will you do it with me? Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, and stop because I hit my 27. So bags of 3, there's 3 in each group, right? Which we already knew that, but I can scoop and put 3 because there's 3 in each group. Okay, so we did bags of 3. I can check that off. Sometimes if we have a multi-step problem with more than 2 numbers, it's helpful to check them off as we go, because then we know that we've used all those numbers. Because a common mistake that a lot of kiddos make is that they'll do this part and then they'll stop. But they forgot this right here because we haven't done anything with that 5 yet, right? So sometimes it's helpful to go back through and to check off to see that we've used all of our numbers. So we don't just do part of the problem, especially if it's a 2-step problem. So 5 bags of pears are sold. So what am I going to do? I'm going to cross off 5 bags, right? All right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. And then, so we did that. 5 bags are sold. They went away, right? So then it says how many bags of pears are left. So this one is kind of tricky because up here, we said that there was 4 groups left and there was 3 in each one. So we did 4 times 3 equals 12. But this time it's asking, we did all this hard work, so let's make sure we get it right to the very end, okay? How many bags are left? Well, each one of these groups represents a bag, right? So if you look, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 groups or 4 bags left. But we want to write a number sentence, right? We did our draw. We want to write a number sentence. So how many bags did we have total? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 bags or 9 groups total. And then we crossed off 5 bags. So we said that we knew that we were taking away 5 bags. If they were sold, they went away. And that equals 4 left, right? So that's how we can get our number sentence for that. Okay, so it's important that we use our clue words there because left signals that we're going to subtract. Check off that W. And the last thing that we have is to write a sentence. So I go back to my question. How many bags of pears are left? So there are, with a capital T, there are 4 bags left. Period. There are 4 bags left. And there we have it. And then we can check off our last W. Okay, so finish that up. If we look back at our objective for today, or in our I can statement, I can solve 2-step problems using multiplication and division. That is exactly what we did today, right? We were solving 2-step problems. We used RDWW for all of the problems that we did, and we highlighted the numbers to signal to us that it was going to be a 2-step word problem, and we went through all of our steps. We crossed off, we checked off the numbers as we went to help us. And yeah, so these can absolutely be tricky. This is probably the trickiest thing that we do in 3rd grade. Does that mean it's impossible? No, it just means we need to work hard and try and make sure we're taking our time and going through the steps, okay? So we're going to work on this some more tomorrow. Our lesson tomorrow is working on 2-step word problems as well. So we'll definitely have some more practice at that. So don't feel frustrated if you're not there. If you are there, amazing. And keep up the great work. And I will see you boys and girls tomorrow.